All right, so now we're going to the second part of the week and the second part of the lesson. So we just talked about goal meeting and meeting your goals and talking about how to build your goals. So now we're going to work on decision making so we know what we need to do to decide what goals we want to meet, what skills we want to do, and things like that. So all right. So decision making. All right, so what we're going to talk about, we're going to review what goal setting is. So, sorry, hang on. All right, so SMART strategy. So once again, the SMART strategy is specific. So make sure your goal is specific, measurable, make sure you're able to measure it and see how that's going and see how you're improving or how you're unimproving and what you need to do to change to make your goal more efficient and better. Attainable, so it's a goal that you're able to reach within a short period of time so you can see results and see how you're doing and so how you're improving and how you're not improving and things like that. Relevant, so you want to make sure it's relevant again. You want to make sure that it's important to you, that's something that you're interested in meeting, something that's important to you for building a goal and what you're going to actually work towards to be able to meet it. Time bound, so something that you're able to meet in a timely manner, that you're able to see fast, so you're able to see the results you're making, how you're doing better or how you're getting closer to the goal, how you're not. Second part, reviewing the steps of completing a goal. So make sure you go back and review steps of completing goal, the things you need to do to make sure your goals get complete and how you're going to do those things to complete the goal. And then the steps of mastering a skill. So make sure you know how to explain the skill and how to demonstrate the skill appropriately for the steps of mastering a skill. And you will need to know that Friday for the Zoom meeting. So make sure you go back and review that. All right, so now we're into steps in making. So steps in decision making. It's a skill that goes hand in hand with goal setting is decision making. Decision making is a skill that everybody struggles with no matter what age. So, I mean, I still struggle with making decisions on what I want to do, how I want to do things, what teams I want to make for PE class, for instance, like different things like that. It's decisions making that everybody struggles with. So you got to be able to get skills so you're able to improve and make decisions quickly and effectively. So we're going to talk about how to make decisions using the 7 steps that are provided for us. So step 1, describe the decision or problem. So say you got a problem with, I'm not having enough time to do my homework. So maybe you need to make a decision on what you want to cut out, what you need to do to be able to make more time. So you have to describe your decision and or problem that you're trying to make, and then the next step will explain what you do after that. So for example, you need to buy a new car. So you would decide that you need the money to buy a new car. So that would be step 1. So you could describing the decision or problem that you need to do, and it's the first step of decision making. Step 2, identify what you want to happen. So back to, I need to get more homework done and I need more time to do homework. So now you need to identify what you want to happen. So some things to think about when you're doing this is follow your personal or family values. So you don't want to cut out some things that are important to you or that are important to your family in order to meet these goals, but you still need to figure out what you want to do to cut out, what you want to do to be able to make a decision on how you're going to do the things you're trying to do. I want to make sure that things help you stay safe and healthy. So don't do anything that's going to take you out of your comfort zone, that's going to make it unhealthy, that's going to deprive you of sleep or food or things that you need to do to stay healthy in your everyday life. You need to follow rules. So there's rules everywhere, school, home, all of that. So you need to make sure you follow the rules that your parents set, that you set for yourself, that school set, that place is set that you're going, all the different things like that. You need to make sure you follow the rules still while you're making decisions. You still need to show respect to others and yourself while you're making these decisions. So you don't want to do decisions that are going to be disrespectful to family, to your friends, to your teachers, to your coaches, to anybody. And you want to make sure that you're still respecting yourself while you're making decisions like this. So, so one of the things I decided that I put that you want to happen. So I said, I want to buy a car, so I need to save enough money to buy one by June. So I'm identifying that I want to buy a new car. So the next steps will go on. So I need enough money to buy one by June. So step 3 goes into that. It's brainstorming optional ways to get what you want to happen. So basically this is, what are you going to do to make things possible? So getting more time to do homework at night. So what are you going to do to make things possible? Maybe you stop sitting on your phone so long. You stop watching TV so long. You cut video game time out. You set aside a certain amount of time that you're going to do homework every night. Some things like that. You just think about what you're going to do to make the things possible, and that will help with your decision making on how you can improve different things. So optional ways to get what I want to happen. I said I want to buy a new car by June. So some things I might do are save money from my allowance save money from allowance each week to get one. Get a job and save a certain amount each week. Do work around the house and negotiate getting paid, or steal money from a family member. So those are four ways that I brainstorm that could be a way that I could get things to do what I'm trying to do. Step 4 then goes into cross off what you don't want to try. So ideas that maybe are against what we talked about in the values, are against what the rules are against respecting and against all that different stuff. So this is where you'll go through the different ideas that you brainstorm together that you realize, oh, that's probably not the best idea. Oh, that's against my values. Oh, that could hurt or harm somebody. Oh, those different type of things. So this is the step that you go through, and you cross off the things that you don't want to try when you're trying to make a decision on what you're going to do. So ideas I put steal money from a family member, because that's against values. That could hurt or harm my family member. It's disrespectful, and it's definitely against the rules to steal from a family member, and it's not a good thing to do at all. The second thing was do work around the house to negotiate getting paid. If that's something you want to do and you think you could do good at it, then that's more power to you. I cross that off my list of ideas, because if I'm negotiating getting paid, then what if they say no? Then I'm doing the housework to do the housework, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but my goal is to have enough money to buy a house by June. So those are the type of things that I just don't think would be the best ideas when I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. So next step would be selecting and trying an idea. So after you brainstorm all your ideas, you cross off which ones you don't think work. You then actually have to decide on what idea you want to try. So say you're doing your homework again, back to that example. You want to try cutting TV time out. So you go next couple of weeks, months, whatever you want to try, cut out an hour watching TV each night. Then you would see how that works. And if it worked for you, then you made a good decision on what you're going to do. So I've said, out of the things I put out, I'm going to try and get a job and save a certain amount of money each week. So each week I get paid, I'm going to put away a certain amount of my paycheck, and I'm going to try that idea to see if I can save enough money to get a new car by June. Step 6 would be acting on the idea. So next step you need to think about, next thing you need to think about is the steps you need to do to make it happen. So for doing your homework, so what's a way you could give you enough time after cutting the TV out? So things you need to do, maybe find a space away from a TV to work on your homework every night and work on what you're trying to do every night. Put your computers and phones away if you're not doing your homework on them, so they're not around, they're not a distraction to you. Find a quiet space where it's just going to be you and you're able to focus on your homework, so you're able to get it done. And then even after that, maybe you'll save some time doing homework that you'll be able to add some TV time back into the night. Another thing you could do is do your homework at a certain time every night till this time every night, so you know what you're doing and what you can watch and what times you're going to be available to do the things you want to do. Some things I did is research employment possibilities. So research around the area around and find jobs that I think would work good for me, because I'm trying to save money to save a car. So jobs that would work good for me, that give me enough money that I'm able to buy a car in time for June. So it could be anything from serving to hosting to manual labor to working at Kroger to working at McDonald's. Any type of job that you could possibly find they think would give you enough money to save up for a car by June. Next step would be apply for jobs. So after you figure out what jobs you think would fit best for you, you then actually have to go and apply. So you'd have to go out, find an application, maybe even go in and apply if it's open applying. Sometimes that works out best for you. Go and apply. You'd put all your information stuff down, what you're looking for, all that different type of stuff, and you apply for the job, and that'd be the next step on acting on the idea. Next part would be preparing for the interview. So you get an interview, maybe you look at like what the company's all about, history of the company, different type of the job opportunities that are available, different opportunities that are available for the company. That way, when they go for the interview, you can tell them what you are interested in working with them for, what interests you about working for them, and different type of stuff like that, stuff that's important in the interview process. And the last step, which I think is probably the most important of this, is determine the amount you need to save. So you need to know where you're at now, what you need, so you're not tying yourself down, so you're not spending too much money each week, or you're not saving too much so you don't have money to go out and do some of the other things you need to do. So you need to determine how much you need to save, how much a car is going to cost, and how much you need to put away each week so you're in order to save this much so you can meet your goal by June. The final step in the decision-making process is evaluating how your decision turned out. So again, working your homework, you go and you look and you take TV time out and you still think, and you look and you're like, oh, this works. Taking TV time out gave me more time. I'm finishing my homework more efficiently and better. And maybe it's even adding more stuff into my time at night. So I could look at that, see that it's working, continue doing it. And if I'm done early, I get more TV time than I thought I was going to. If you look at it and you say, oh, it's not helping at all, I'm still not finishing my homework, then maybe you need to cut something else out, like video games or texting on your phone or hanging out after school or taking a nap when you get home after school. Maybe you need to work on finding something else you can take out that is going to allow for you to do more homework every night and get your stuff done more effectively. Some things to look at is, or even if evaluating the saving money. So once 6 months comes out, or once June hits, I'll look at how much I saved, or maybe even every couple weeks, I'll look at how much I saved. If I'm still on pace to be able to save enough money to get a car by June. So I'm looking at how the decision turned out. So if I see what job I picked and it's working out where I think I'm going to be able to make enough money by June, then I did a good job of it. If I look at it, I'm like, oh, I'm not making enough, I'm not going to meet my thing, then maybe I need to get a second job, maybe figure out another way to get money, maybe talk to a boss about getting a raise, or maybe just work more hours each week instead of doing some other things. Maybe I need to cut out for hanging out with friends or some other stuff and work more hours each week so I'm able to make more money. So some things to look at when you're evaluating is, did you achieve what you wanted to happen? So if you look at cutting homework out and you see that you achieved what you wanted to happen, then you did a good job. Maybe you just need to keep that up so you're able to do your homework. If you look at it, and so then if I look at, oh, I want to buy a car by June, I look and I see, oh, I'm saving enough money, I'm saving more than enough, then maybe I can keep going at that, get enough money, and I'll be able to afford the car that I wanted to go for in June. The next thing you need to look at is, what changes would you make the next time? So you look at homework and you still see that you're struggling to get there. So maybe you need to cut something else out. Like I said, like just cut more time out of your night to be able to do homework more effectively. Or maybe you could, or maybe if you still couldn't focus or you're doing your homework because it's too quiet or something like that, you could maybe, I'm going to turn music on in the background. Maybe that will help me focus. Or different things or maybe you were too tired at night and you're trying to do your homework, so then maybe you do your homework right after school, right when you get home, instead of waiting till at night to do it. It's different things like that. You figure out what changes you would make the next time to make sure that you are able to complete the goal and reach the decision that you made on what you're trying to accomplish. So review. So the 7 steps of decision making are, we'll go back through and we'll review all of them. So like I said, step 1, describe the decision or problem. So you need to figure out what the problem is or what decision you're trying to make, and describe it and figure out what exactly it is you're trying to do or accomplish or make. Second step, identify what you want to happen. So once you decide what the problem is or the decision you're trying to make is, you identify what you want to happen. So this is where your goal aspect comes in. So when you're building your SMART goals, this is where this would come in. Then you would make a decision using these steps based off how you are going to do it. So identify what you want to happen. So like I said, the homework example, you want to get more time to do homework each night because you're not having enough time to get it all done currently. Step 3, brainstorm optional ways to get what you want to happen. So this is where you go. You think of the ways think of what you need to do to make things happen. You brainstorm the different optional ways. So you can come up with 1, you can come up with 4, come up with 5, you come up with 10. but you just come up with all the different ways you can get what you want to happen in order to meet your goal and make a right and effective decision. Step 4, cross off the ideas you don't want to try. So this is where you go through, no matter how many you make, you cross out the ones that are against your values, are against what you're trying to do, and against what you're trying to accomplish or reach as part of your decision-making and goal-setting process. Step 5, select an idea to try. So out of all the things you put, so maybe you put 10, maybe you put 4, all that, this is where you go and you decide what you're going to try. So with the homework, I said, oh, I'm going to cut TV out. So now I'm going to set that, and I'm going to try and see how it helps me. If I get more homework done at night, if I don't, like different things like that. That's what you're going to do on the step 5. Step 6, you're going to act on the idea. So I'm going to start cutting TV time out and see how it helps me with my homework. I'm going to start putting money away. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to see what I can do to get enough money to save what I want to buy a new car by June. And step 7, I'm going to evaluate how it's going. So I'm going to evaluate TV time. Taking TV time actually helped me figure out my homework better. That actually helped me save enough money to buy a car. No matter what decision you're making, you'll evaluate what's working and what's not working. If something's not working, you'll make the changes that you need to make. If something's working, then you continue going with it, or whatever you want to do with it to make sure that you're able to accomplish your goal using this decision-making process. And then, so this is what we're going to do now. So we're going to be working on groups on the Zoom on Friday using the group. We're going to be using a skill in decision-making process, the steps on mastering a skill. So I'm going to post those on Google Classroom, so you might want to review them before Friday. So the steps of building a goal, the steps of mastering a skill, and then the steps of decision making are all going to come into place. We're going to go in little groups, and we're going to talk about this on the Zoom on Friday in health class. So for the assignment, I put a Google form on in the classroom. I want you to answer these 2 questions. So what are the pros and cons of working in a group or working as an individual? So I want to know what you like about working with groups and what you don't like about working with groups. And I want to know what you like about working as an individual and what you don't like about working as an individual. And then answer that in the Google form so we're able to just see how everybody feels about working in groups for the future reference. And then, so the second question is what you like and dislike about working in groups. So the first one, I guess I more want to see, what do you think are the benefits of working in a group or not working in a group? And what do you think are the benefits of working as an individual and not working as an individual? Second question, I want to know what you like about working in groups and like just you personally, and what you dislike about working in groups you personally. So that will wrap up this section of the unit. So we want to know those questions so we're able to see just how you feel about working in groups and everything like that. So we will see you Friday. Make sure you get all that work done, and that should be it for you. Thank you.